Hello and welcome to another Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan Steele and I will be your nerd today and any other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. Hi everybody. So when I'm recording this, it is just after the US election. And it is no secret, I am not happy. In fact, I'm actually extremely unhappy about the results. But I cannot let that slow me down. I cannot let that stop me from creating cool stuff and cool games and the like. All I can do is be hopeful and positive for the future and try and get through what comes next, which none of us really know what that's going to be. So, without further ado, I just wanted to kind of put that forward because the personal part of Week in Bryan is dominated a little bit by that. Yeah, we're just gonna say that's probably the big personal spike in this week. Not ideal. Hobby-wise, I have started painting my Strange Hollow commissions. And officially started putting together my auction piece for Gamehole Con of next year. I know that sounds crazy because Gamehole Con just happened, but I know my ability to devote time to a project, and I want to make sure that I do absolutely the best job that I can on this in my mind's eye, and I got to do a fair amount of sculpting and things involved. So I know that it's gonna be a while. Basically, I was unbelievably inspired by the level of awesomeness of Alyssa Faden. Putting together this fantastic Alex Bates dragon turtle diorama with magnets, and it can come off and replaceable heads and all this great stuff. And it's obviously it's for a charity and it's for a good cause anyway. But I've had a couple of cool pieces sitting in storage for a while that I was like, you know what, I need to do something about them. And I got this idea in my head and was like, I'm going to do this. And it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then seeing Alyssa's Dragon Turtle and seeing how happy it made the auction, I just really wanted to do my part next year. So I went ahead and got things moving. Obviously, it's not, nowhere worth showing people yet. But I do plan on, as I start getting some work in progresses and things, kind of updating people and letting people know, hopefully get people pumped about this cool little project. In the interim, I get to paint a bunch of Strange Hollow stuff for the guys over at Accidental Cyclops. So very cool there. This weekend, planning on getting some stuff printed. There's a couple of big dragons that were in the STL files that I'm very excited to get paint on. So first, I got to get them printed, make sure that everything's all done up the right way. But I digress. Yeah, that's pretty much all my hobbying that I've done. I will be doing more soon. Gaming wise, so had a great session in my wife's Land of Monsters D&D game, where we were on a boat and we discovered a false bottom to a lower deck that had slaves on it. Basically, we had overtaken a slaver's boat and we didn't even know it. The trap door to that section, it's really ingenious. I love what she did. The trap door had an arcane lock on it, so no matter what we did to try and pry the boards up or whatever like that, didn't work until my son, who's playing the bard. Playing a bard, goes, so can we detect magic? And I was like, or no, we found the trapdoor because I was detecting magic on some loot. And he was like, well, can I just dispel it? And sure enough, he's just like, pop, rolls a massive, like a massive dispel check, and, pop, open goes the door, and we find these captives. But what's cool about my wife has shown some of this stuff before. So Natalie has created these sort of anti-magic collars that initially we thought they were just kind of like slap-on, collars with a lock on the back. But she's gone so far as to like actually sketch them out and everything. They're made of like individual, like almost like dragon scale looking metal plates with individual runes on them, so they change and adjust and move based off of the species that they're being snapped to, and however they get put together, the little individual plates, they come together and eventually create, no matter how big you are, the plates will come together and create a keyhole. And then the keyhole is how you turn the collar off and on. It's really, really cool. And she sketched it out and it looks really great. But all of these captives had them on. But then they also had these like mouth, not like a ball gag. It was just kind of like a mouthpiece, or like a chin strap sort of thing. And we weren't sure because they had gems on them. We couldn't sure if it was like decorative or maybe like some kind of cult, something. It turned out that it basically kept them from talking, it kept them mute, so they couldn't cast or they couldn't like shout for help or anything like that. But then the little tiny thing that she added to this sort of this like hidden prisoner's hold is she lead lined the ceiling and doors and or walls and floor and stuff. And yes, Superman could not find them, but it was also, if you read some of the locate person spells, lead blocks that. So she looked that up and found out that if you lead line a room that you're carrying captives in, they can't use locate person to find it. It was really very, very smart and awesome, and I loved it. But so we found them, we freed them, we got to this big town, discovered that there's a crime family that they apparently belong to, that owned them, like not like they are a member of the crime family, they were purchased by them. And we now have a handful of these free Eladrin that we now that effectively they're like level 0 commoners. They are scared, they're in a foreign land, so we now are gonna help facilitate getting them home in some capacity, or at least hire others to be able to do so. That's like kind of the next part of our heroic journey, is to get them to their various home places, hopefully without turning this into, hey, we have a caravan of people who can't defend themselves, and then we feel bad when they get hurt. But it was a great session. It was awesome. And then that was really all the gaming that I did. I played a little bit of video games, but I've been very busy with work stuff, as we'll discuss in the work section of the Week in Bryan. But it was a great game. It was a great game. For my almost 16-year-old son, it went a little long. We started kind of losing his attention span at around hour 5. It went for almost 6 hours. And I think going forward in the future, I think we're gonna try and limit it to about 4, because he was doing great. He was involved, he was engaged, he was making jokes, he was shenanigansing like any other gamer would, but he was also coming up with cool ideas and things that it's always cool to see him thinking about his spells and his abilities and the world around him and actually engaging. And I think if we can facilitate keeping him engaged that long, I think it'll just help everybody. And if we, it'll make for a better session if everybody is there and nobody's concerned about, oh, he's on the phone, or, oh, he's gone to the bathroom like 10 times because he's, bored or bored eating or whatever. I think keeping him engaged is good. And there's nothing wrong with having condensed solid sessions. So it's a really good. It was a great game. It was a really really good game, and super proud of Natalie for really just throwing us for a loop. Like, none of us saw it coming, and it was a great way to spend a fabulous Saturday afternoon with my friends. Work-wise, work in the week in Bryan. It never ends, is really what I should just say. It just never stops. So still working on the Shadowrun book. That's all working well. I am neck deep in the Wrath of the Sea Lich with over for Luke Gygax, which is a fun little story. And I think that if you guys are into his world, the world of Akarim, you should totally check this out. Whether you get it in the 5e format or the Shadow Dark format, that's irrelevant. They both tell a very cool story, and I think that you guys would have a lot of fun with it. Plus, there's some very cool, unique monsters that that Luke and his design team came up with. I get to come up with a little bit, but what he's already got created is very, very cool. My two minis games right now, Warzone and Xeogenesis, that I'm working on, both going great. Warzone is getting so close to, we're getting so, like Alex and I, every time we have a meeting, it's just on the other side of the horizon, the next thing to check off. We're getting so close. And as soon as I have the opportunity to ship out a lot of people have been buying, pre-ordering the tournament kits, which is awesome. Thank you. It really shows how many places are going to be able to support this game, and it makes me very, very happy. I have everything ready to go in their boxes. It's ready to hit shipping as soon as the layout guy gets done with his legal licensing pass on the actual print files. More or less, we always want to make sure that we keep the licensors happy, and part of doing that is making sure that you keep a specific level of professionalism in your forms and your sheets and all that. We have to make sure that everything that we put out and everything that we give to you guys as consumers is up to standards, which means everything has to go through the licensor. They have to basically tick all the boxes and say, yeah, this is great, this is not, please use this font, don't use that one. And that's where we're at in that process. Once those are done, once the layout guy has made all of the adjustments to bring it up to heroic standards, I will put all the files on the flash drives and I will start mailing them out. I don't see a reason necessarily why we would have to wait for the minis to ship. There's no legal reason, and there's no, for people, there's already people playing tournaments or planning tournaments and things using proxies. I can't see a reason why we wouldn't be able to get that stuff out there and start getting this community moving, and getting them hyped for when the models do come, which again, we're so close that we're down to just the last few molds to get pressed, and then basically a bunch of us, team members and neighboring affiliates are going to go and meet in Michigan, and we're going to pack a bunch of boxes and start getting stuff shipped out. So I'm so excited for that to happen. That will be fantastic. I'm so excited. I put so the Dungeon in a Box guys. I don't know if I told you, you viewers. I don't know if I mentioned. I think I did. That I am creating a bunch of their monster trainer or monster hunter wildkin, a bunch of their the creatures that they catch and fight in arena combat, and it's very cool. It's a very cool little product, And, I will put the link to their, I think it's on BackerKit, but their crowdfunding, I will put the link in the description of the video. You should totally go check it out. But I got to put the stat blocks together for the first, kind of the first wave of those that I get to do. I did that last week, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to create. I swear to God, quote unquote, I swear to God, they're not Pokemon. But if you like, just because they've got a playful feel to them, but you could absolutely, if you took that kind of playful concept out of some of them, you could absolutely be like, no, I'll throw this creature at my D&D group, which, heck yeah, I'm down. I would love to see some of that on, you take the, it's that whole, what if you take the cartoony, funny stuff out of Pokemon and really come down to be like, no, these are just kids. These are young adults, forcing monsters to fight each other for our amusement and experience. And I think that that's something that you could turn into a really cool campaign or a cool character, a cool aspect of stuff. So I got to do that last week, and the owners over there have been looking through my stuff, and I've been getting a lot of cool notes. A few things that the guys over there have said, this is great, spot on, chef's kiss. So that always makes me happy when a design comes together the right way. And then as of last week, I also signed on to help with my friends. I've known Nathan for 30 years almost. It's coming up on 30 years that I've known Nathan, and he is a great gamer. He's an amazing dude, and he has been working on a role-playing game system and world for a decade. He's been at it for a while, and in the last year or so, he's decided he's making it happen. He is going to put it together. He is going to publish this. He's created his business accounts. He's got art being made, and it's amazing art, by the way. So he's starting to put it together, and at Gamehole, or a little bit before Gamehole, he actually reached out to me and was like, hey, there's a section in my world that I think that you would be particularly good at fleshing out, knowing my background and the narrative stuff that I do. So we had a long talk and a lunch and talk about terms and things, and I'm gonna help flesh out some of his deep dark nasties on in his world. I'm purposely being vague right now because I don't want to do a bunch of name dropping and things, for the sheer fact that until he gets his websites and socials and stuff up and running, I don't want people to start trying to search it out and look for it and all that. But rest assured, when we get closer to that being something that we want to talk about openly, you will definitely hear from me, and more than likely, you'll actually hear from Nathan. I'll probably be able to get him on the show. So big thumbs up there. Super happy to be part of that project. And then my Evil Genius stuff. Evil Genius has been putting out so much cool stuff in it's almost done. Like, we have got so much stuff that's about ready, the bubble's about ready to pop, and we're about ready to release a bunch of great things. So, watch that space. If you get a chance, join our Patreon, because you get a bunch of cool free stuff, and you'll get first crack at some of the cool adventures that we're writing, digital tokens for like your VTTs, maps, the whole 9 yards. You definitely should go check it out. The link is in the description of the video. Please and thank you. This week alone, I've had some great playtest sessions for Intergalactic Heroes. Helped me do some definitive tweaking and adjusting to the Starship event system. Allow me to kind of redefine a few terms and kind of point out when when starships need to take damage, and put a little challenge on the table. Because up until now, I really felt like that these starships very rarely ever actually got damaged. And we have such a cool system of system damage levels, and like it's a great way of doing. I know I'm biased. It's a great way of doing damage to larger structures rather than just here's hit points. And I felt in previous versions very little that didn't happen very often, unless you were like specifically just ignoring particular tasks during an event, or you know, the deck was so stacked against you that you just couldn't help it. I really felt like it was too hard. It was too hard on the GM to threaten the players, and put them into a situation, especially in a game where we've got it written in that there's things like escape pods and escape shuttles, and just because you lose a combat, it doesn't mean that your ship explodes. There needs to be a little more challenge. There needs to be more opportunities to use some of those cool, you know, starship ace abilities, and you know, I'm an expert crewman, so there's things that I can do. I can repair things. There needs to be more use of that collectively at the table. So did a little tweaking, did a little adjusting on the starship event system, and so far through playtests, we have seen some very, very cool stuff. So I am very glad that we did it, and I'm very happy where it is at, and I need to put some of my fellow designers through a couple of starship events so they can see this kind of new format. And hopefully at the end of the year, I will update the open beta document to reflect all these changes, and will get us that much closer to actually being able to put the player's guide into layout and so forth. Just very excited about that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it when it comes to work stuff. I know that was a long section, but that, you know, I work all the time. So there is a lot of work in the week in Bryan. Yeah, I think that's it. Then let's get to the meat of today. So today might be a short episode, but I did want to go ahead and take the time. So I know technically last week the episode came out in November, but as I mentioned in last week's episode, I had forgotten to randominator the comment sections to get us a winner, but I did today. So we now have an October comment raffle winner, and that is at Box 2 Battle on episode 253. They left a comment, came into the randominator, and popped up as the winner. So congratulations. When this video goes live, I will reach out to you so you can reach out to me, and we can find a way to get you your comment raffle win, which I can specifically say this box is a good one this month. By the way, it's a very cool collection of weirdness from my world. All right. Well, then now that we've congratulated Box to Battle and we've done the week in Bryan, let's do what I was talking about today. Today, we're actually going through some stuff that I've gotten in the mail. One from my amazing sponsor, which we will end with. We will end with the amazing sponsor product. But I also got two of my Kickstarters that I have backed. I got two of them in this last week. One is a cute little something that I just wanted to show off by Matthew Sargent. So, hey, thanks, Matt, for putting this together and sending things out. It is, I'm going to get it out of the wrapper in a second. It is the College of the Third Wave, a ska-inspired bard subclass for 5e. So I have, you'll note it's still in its wrapper. I have not opened this up because I wanted to unbox it, quote, unwrap it with you guys first. So we open it up. And this is all the stuff that I got through the Kickstarter. I believe there may have been some more things that I didn't do the full kit, but it comes with a fun College of the Third Wave Iron-On Ska Bard patch. So we'll put that in my patch collection. Okay. Comes with a comes with a fun sticker, a little ska bard sticker. Awesome. And then it comes with a bunch of extra stickers that are kind of in character. We got like a bag of mozzarella sticks, a Professor Keesby's miraculous horn oil, and then a couple of band members, a dwarf, a goblin, and an elf, and then this kind of strange tentacle dancing dude, and the College of the Third Wave sticker. Very fun, very cool. I will put that on stuff as soon as I get the opportunity. Okay, what is next? What else is in this kit? We have, looks like maybe a poster? Yeah, it's a poster of, basically a poster of the wraparound cover, showing the two of the college bards rocking and rolling, doing their, I guess they're not rocking, skanking, doing their thing. And then the actual booklet itself, which, by the way, now that I've gotten it open, this is pretty cool. So it's got, I'm going to tilt it so my light shows you. He is glossy, but everything else is matte. He's also kind of raised. Like, very cool. So oh, and so is the other band member in the back. Oh, and on the back, we have summon horn sections, start magical mosh pits, battle really big fish, and help your allies. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Oh man, Matt, you did a great job, and I'm about ready to tell you how amazing this is. All right, so it was written, illustrated, and designed by Matt. So Matt did all of this. Good job, dude. All right. I'm going to read so it's got the intro section. I'll read the intro section, and then I'm going to do a quick flip through. Obviously, I'm not going to give you everything because I don't want to spoil it for the people who then can reach out to Matt and get a hold of this through his channels. Most excellent colleagues, as you requested, I have been investigating reports of recent ska bard appearances. Despite rumors to the contrary, it seems they have not, in fact, died out. They originated long ago on a small island in the tropics. It was there that the magical secrets of the upbeat, danceable ska music were first unlocked, and the first bardic college of ska was formed. Decades later, the tradition reappeared in a foggy kingdom far to the north, where it melded with local influences. The bards were championed unity, often featuring elves and dwarves in bands together, and became known as the College of Two-Tone. Okay, this is fantastic. Matt, I love you. Shortly thereafter, the lore of ska arrived in a new land, where it was embraced by bards of the very informal College of Punk. The music and magic of the two traditions fused to create the most joyfully furious sound. The College of the Third Wave was formed, and traveled the land, happiness and dancing in its wake. These new ska bards dressed in tribute to their predecessors, favoring tropical prints, black suits, hats with comically small brims, and a checkered pattern anywhere it would fit. The billowing sleeves, striped hose, and audacious feathered hats of most bardic colleges were nowhere to be found. Tragically, as abruptly as they arrived, they vanished from the public eye. Were they simply forgotten by society, or did they go into hiding? Analysis is ongoing, but I suspect dark magic is involved. Enclosed you will find my notes on the magic, artifacts, and foes of these bards. Keep these traditions alive, and perhaps you can herald this college's revival. Professor Ferris Keesby, County Orange Academy of the Bardic Sciences. Okay, that's fantastic, because it's literally referring to the first wave of ska coming out of, like, you know, Jamaica and the Caribbean, and then the second wave that was in London and the UK. Oh my God, so good. All right. College of the Third Wave is subclass, so it is a subclass. It comes with Pick It Up. As a bonus action, you can expend one use of Bardic Inspiration to set rapid tempo for your companions. When you do a number of creatures equal to your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1 within 90 feet, each of them gains an extra 10 feet to their speed. Basically, you make them move faster. Additionally, at the beginning of any round of combat, a creature that has a Bardic Inspiration die from you can use its reaction to roll that die and add the number rolled to their original initiative. Their new number becomes that creature's initiative. That's pretty fun. Okay. They get specialty in instruments. They get rude and reckless. Sky is not dead at 14th level. There's a new background. They have some new spells. All my allies are metalheads. You create 2 illusory ska musicians that appear in any unoccupied space within range. They dance and play loud music for the duration. You decide what they look like, what instruments they have, and what song they are playing. They are intangible. When you cast this spell, you can designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. When an affected creature moves within 5 feet of an illusory musician or starts its turn there, it must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 2d6 thunder damage. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage. As a bonus action, you can move one illusory musician up to 30 feet to a space you can see, but it must remain within 60 feet of you. The illusory musicians are unaffected by difficult terrain. And then at higher levels, you can basically do... It's a 3rd level illusion spell. You can do new... more additional... You can create more members of the band. So you create like little bombs on the map that if people come by during while the spell is up, it's a concentration spell up to a minute. They have to make saves so they take thunder damage because the music's too loud. Okay, that's fantastic, and I love it a lot. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, yep, now I gotta find this one. We have, it's an evocation cantrip called Skaboom. You create the loud, discordant sound of a full ska band tuning their instruments, audible to only one creature within range. Range is 30 feet. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d8 thunder damage and become deafened until the start of your next turn. And then the damage goes up because it's a cantrip. Okay, Skaboom is great. I love that. We get a couple of magic items. Each one's illustrated. We have Fingers of Gold. This is the one that has the sticks, the mozzarella sticks. These delicious sticks of fried cheese come in packages of 1d4 plus 1. When you eat one, you are filled with a joyful resolve. You gain 2d4 plus 2 temporary hit points, and for 1 minute you are immune to being frightened and have advantage on saving throws. You literally, it's just it's mozzarella sticks of awesomeness. We have the Fishbone, a rare magic rapier, which has a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. While the sword is on your person, you can breathe underwater and have a swimming speed of 60 feet. So it's not ska themed other than its name, but it's a really cool sword. I will not. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will do the one that has the sticker, the Professor Keysby's Miraculous Horn Oil. This glass vial contains 1d6 plus 1 doses of clear, semi-viscous lubricant. As an action, 1 dose of the oil can be applied to the keys, slide, or valves of a wind instrument, granting it astounding precision. When applied to an instrument, when used as an arcane focus by a bard, spells cast through it have a +1 bonus to their spell save DC for the next minute. So it's just a little bonus for doing with as your magical instrument. That's great. There's a bunch of other ones. There's a whole section on mundane musical instruments, like different other types of musical instruments, like how much they cost and things. And now we have some monster. Oh my god! All right. So there's the picture of the thing that had all the squid limbs. That's the floating eye of death. It is challenge rating 6 aberration. I'm not going to give all of its stats, but it basically just kind of floats around. It's got all these little tentacles, but it also has a death ray. Down the bottom, it's whatchamacallit, fun text. It's narrative text. According to the legend, the floating eye of death was once part of a larger creature. It was sundered in battle with an avian-headed construct, but managed to survive and has since gained a consciousness of its own. It wanders the world, seeking the rest of itself. And it's just got a little dude with his hat on. We have a mustard golem. We have a really big fish. So good. And then there's a thank you page in the back. I'm assuming with everybody who all the people who were part of it, which I recognize some of these names. There's a couple of names on here that make me very happy. I'm glad you guys were part of this, and I will 100% be reaching out to Matt. I know Matthew Sargent, and I'm going to reach out to him and first off congratulate him on such a great product, but also tell him that I absolutely love what he has done. All right. So the next thing I got in the mail, let's change gears. Let's go from funny to a little bit more topical and serious. We have, as soon as I can get the shrink wrap off of this thing. Okay. True unboxings. Haven't looked at this at all. We have Subversion, a cyberpunk fantasy in Neo-Babylon by, I believe it's Fraggin' Unicorn Games. Yes, Fraggin' Unicorns is who put this out. A great collection of people with a fantastic stable of freelancers that put this together. I guess it is kind of on theme a little bit, because in the back we've got somebody with this cool sci-fi guitar. All right, so hardcover book, very well put together. The art is excellent. I'm going to give you a nice shot of that front picture. For everybody who knows, it definitely has a little bit of a Shadowrun feel. On the back, let's go ahead and read the back, and then we'll do a quick page through. Obviously, I'm not going to go super deep into it. I want you to be able to take a look at it, and I also don't want to give away all the cool secrets. Plus, I also don't want this video to be 4 hours long. All right, so we have Subversion, Magic, Technology, Rebellion. Embark on, let's make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Embark on a journey into the heart of rebellion with Subversion, the cyberpunk fantasy role-playing game set in the sprawling metropolis of Neo-Babylon. Play as characters whose ideals, flaws, community, and moral... let's try that again. Reloading. Play as characters whose ideals, flaws, community, and moral compasses guide the story. Subversion supports adrenaline-fueled clashes, intricate character progression, ethical dilemmas, clashes of ideology, and the gradual evolution of plotlines, all fueling the fiery resistance against the powers that oppress. Use arcane arts, cyber technology, communal evolution, combat skill, connections to ancient deities, and an extensive array of roles and expertise to overcome adversity. Rich character creation with hundreds of options to sculpt characters with distinct abilities, backgrounds, values, flaws, and stories. Subversion intertwines players' values, instincts, and emotional resilience into the core of their characters and their stories. Subversion is a game designed to let players confront existential questions with resonance beyond any given moment, pondering desires, motivations, ethical boundaries, and the sacrifices they're willing to endure for the greater good. These choices impact fellow players, sculpt unfolding epics, and invite players to challenge the status quo, upend injustice, seize control of their destinies, and to reshape their world as only the misbehaving can. So, to give you a quick kind of what I was told when I was told about this, whereas Shadowrun, you tend to play people that are kind of out for themselves, maybe out for them and their friends. But you tend to be more, very rarely do you have like the grandiose, outlook of I'm trying to better the world. You can, but it's not quite as often. In this is definitely you are the little guy fighting against the powers that oppress. You are designed. Your characters are built to try and, I say it, in kind of a funny way, but to bring down the man. You are trying to better the world around you, not necessarily just get rich. And I think in a lot of Shadowrun plot lines and things, yeah, you're trying to survive in the sixth world. You're trying to, maybe get one over on a particular employer, but you're almost always still working for someone else. You're almost always, there's another corporation that's kind of in control, that kind of thing. This is a little bit more of I hesitate to say a positive a positive reasoning, a positive choice. Like your values that you're shooting for here in Subversion is you are trying to I mean, I hate to be like, you're fighting evil, but you're trying to basically create a better world for everybody through your skills and talents, through your abilities as a player character. All right, so let's give a quick flip through. Page quality is amazing. It's glossy. It's wonderful. Text is nice and big. It's very easy to read. We've got a prologue section. Talks about how to use the book themselves, different core rules. Gameplay inspirations, just to give you a general idea of kind of what they were thinking about. There is Ancestry and Culture, Blades in the Dark, The Bloody-Handed Name of Bronze, The Burning Wheel, excellent system, Earth Dawn, Eclipse Phase, Hardwired Island, Hill Folk, Misspent Youth, Shadow of the Demon Lord by Robert Schwalb. I love Rob, and it's a great game. And then Shadowrun by FASA and Catalyst Game Labs. The thematic inspirations, it's got... Oh, I like that. So they've got a bunch of... there's a list here of what was inspired them to create the theme of Subversion, but it also says what part of them. So it's just, not just a list. It's the technology of Neuromancer, the sacrifice of the Hunger Games, the magic of the magicians, the rebellion of Star Wars, the truth-telling of the Boondocks, the community of the Goonies, and the heart of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Neat. To what you need, you just need this book, 10 to 20 six-sided dice, or a dice rolling app. I prefer dice. At least one character sheet per person. Okay. And then the very end of this, I love this. What to ignore. This game is designed for two things. 1, friends having fun together, and 2, telling great stories about hopeful resistance to injustice. If, along the way, you find anything in these pages that hinders those two goals, talk about it with your friends and ignore, add, change, improve, or paint over anything that will get you back to fun, friends, hope, and resistance. All right, so then the game system itself, it looks like it is... you roll 3 or more six-sided dice, keeping the 3 highest of those dice. And then you roll... It's a target number system. You've got different skills. The art is very cool. So you've got that kind of neat... Let's see if I can get this where you can see it better. God, I'm having a hard time getting the thing to see. There's things for rolling, how to roll, how not to roll, when to just sort of narrate things. Yeah, no, it's great. We've got getting busted. When a character takes enough of a beating, they can't keep going. They are said to be busted. There are 2 ways to become busted. A character fails a grit test, and a character gains 5 consequences. I'm not going to go too deep into the system itself. I'm sure if you go to Fragging Unicorn's site, they've got probably links to people that have done the overview. But it is definitely its own system. It is not. It's not a not just a 5e backup, or it's not just Shadowrun time, part 2. It is definitely its own system. There's a whole section on downtime, on what you do between sessions and missions. Then that's the basic rules. Then you get into the extended rules, which it says the following chapters are an expansion of the basic rules for common types of scenes, providing specific rules for progress tracks and actions related to those scenes. Furthermore, we hope that these rules provide inspiration and guidance on how to adapt the basic rules for progress tracks and cinematics to new challenges that might face the PCs. It includes things like social encounters, stealth, breaching, chases, combat, and magic. So it's just a bigger and more robust section. I'm just going to kind of flip through and see if there's anything that jumps out and goes, haha, I love it. That's a cool picture that shows some combat. It's got like a guy with a big axe, a woman whose arm is on fire, like she's probably casting some kind of spell through her pistol. And then there's some. We start getting into, so character creation. It starts off with a school scene. So you obviously you start off with session 0, expectations and boundaries, determining your character's community. So yeah, it's you're building. You build it through. Like you started. Oh, here we go. Here is a PC generation list. We'll just read that off real quick. Real quick. 1, choose lineage. Then you choose your origins and background. You choose your caste. Choose ideology and values. Choose impulse. Choose dramatic hooks. Create relations. Choose your debt. Choose attribute ranks. Choose skills. Choose paradigms. Purchase gear, and then your finishing steps. So you start basically you create a life form and then build it up from there. There's a bunch of different lineages and biologies. There's dwarves, elves, goblins, Harmaku. Harmaku are. They look. I'm gonna see if I can get close enough to show you there. They're almost like harpies. Like they got wings as part of their arms and taloned feet. That's neat. Humans, orcs, and Yetin, which are they're basically Yetis. They're big Sasquatch-looking dudes. All right, cool. And then the origins are where. What is an origin? Origin represents the culture in which you were raised. Okay, there's Altafarian, Babylonian, Chaldani, Karak. I'm gonna butcher a bunch of these. So it's basically the different places that you could be from, and then you get to choose your background, which is agriculturist, apprentice caster, artist, Baru or Baru born, booted out, criminal, downtrodden, explorer, influential, mercenary or soldier, rebel, wage slave, or Yojin apprentice. Cool. And then you get to choose your caste. Caste in Neo-Babylon is your status. It's basically what part of the pecking order you are in when it comes to the social structure. And then ideologies. Okay, yeah, no, very cool. We got a whole section on equipment, currency. The technology here seems to range in how it looks, from like sort of riveted metal drones with helicopter things, all the way to we've got. I saw at least one like seamless flying machine. So there's a lot of stuff here. Whole pile of not feats, the different paradigms, which are basically like feats. And we've got arcane magic. Oh, that's a cool picture. So it's got someone doing like a water leaping. Very cool. Very, very cool. There's a huge section on the different mantle, like so sacred magic, sublime magic, which is like your kind of the tie into the world around you, like your elemental type stuff. I almost call it like monastic magic. And then this whole section right here is the world. Oh, there we go. This is all, let me get to that section. This is all the world of Neo-Babylon. So that whole section I've got in my hands right now is the timeline and the locations and basically really giving you a great setting. And then the GM's guide, we start getting allies and adversaries, NPCs. Very cool stuff. There's a whole bestiary section with magical creatures. And then the last thing we have is the Sapper Village, which is effectively an example community and characters. So if you really wanted to just sit down and go, okay, let's get started. You could use the Sapper Village as your community, and you could build characters or use the pre-generated characters in here to just start playing. Very cool stuff. This is very neat, and the first opportunity I get a chance, and the back like 20 pages are appendixes, lexicon. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I am looking forward to, if I can find at a convention them running that. I'm going to see if I can't get in on one of those sessions at some point. I think that would be a ton of fun. So you should totally check that out. Or at Fragging Unicorns, I will put the link in the description so you can become a part of the Subversion Rebellion as well. All right. I do not have a whole lot of time left in this episode, but I do want to show you the priority announcement of something very cool coming from our friends over at TurboDork. They had two things come out this I believe last week, or at least pre-orders went into effect. And this is, if I can get, I have a label. So I received this early because I'm a sponsor, or they're my sponsor. It says, please do not post on social media about Emerald Nightmare before Halloween, October 31st. Emerald Nightmare is a surprise re-release. So both of these things, at the point where this has come out, both of these are out now, and now I can show you. So the first one that they announced is, this is the first time that they've done this. It is the thinning medium. So basically, and it's just ASMR. That doesn't help anything. It is an acrylic paint thinner that is designed specifically. Technically, you could use it for any acrylic paints, but it is designed specifically for in league with the stuff that they do in the TurboDork paints to help thin them out. Obviously, use it sparingly, but it is for both just using it on your palette to thin out your paints manually, or you can actually use it in an airbrush too, allowing you to use some of the TurboDork paints as airbrush paints. That's going to be massive. I know a lot of people were talking about how some of the TurboDork paints are a little too thick because of that thick color shift, metallic pigments. This is going to be a massive seller, and it's going to be a super benefit to spreading the TurboDork love. I just realized I'm wearing my TurboDork hat. It's just cold outside. So very cool stuff. I've got a link to TurboDork in the description of the video. When you order this, because I'm not even going to say if, but when you order this stuff, make sure you use my discount code that I've got listed in the description. Not only does it let the people over at TurboDork know that I am telling you how cool their stuff is, but it helps, it saves you some money, and it helps the channel because they know that this relationship is a positive one. So yes, thinning medium, definitely go get some. I used to use the Vallejo thinning medium quite a bit. I have since stopped, and now I've been using water. But now that I've got this, I will be going back to using medium to thin my paints, and that will be very, very helpful. And then the thing that I mentioned was kind of a surprise. So a while back, I received a couple of bottles from TurboDork of a color called Emerald Nightmare. And Emerald Nightmare was, it is a dark, a dark metallic green that is like so forest greenish that it comes, it is almost like, it's a great base coat for any kind of like gem, like any kind of deep green gemstone. Also, if you do Emerald Nightmare under the shining gold, or the all that glitters, if you kind of streak it, so you let the Emerald Nightmare completely dry, and then you just kind of streak paint the gold over the top of it, you get this really cool, almost kind of like patina brass look at the end. So it's very worth it. But they decided to re-release the Emerald Nightmare let's see if I can't get a little bit out onto a piece of paper just to show you how groovy this color is. If I can find a piece of paper. That's a yellow. All the paper I got is yellow. How do I not have just white paper. Oh, I've got my printer. I can do that. Time to steal a piece of paper from my printer. All right. So let me get this nice and shaken up. My paint shaker's over actually on my desk. But, so I used Emerald Nightmare a bunch. I haven't played or painted any of my Necrons in a while. But I used my Emerald Nightmare a ton as like the base of a lot of my like Necron like constructs. So not the living metal part, but the things that kind of look like stone, like living stone, green. Yeah. So here we go. I'm gonna put some on this page and show you. Let it do its thing. Come on. I don't know if I shook it up enough. I don't want it to explode. All right, so I've got some there. Let's set this off to the side. Grab something disposable so I don't get this all over my hands before I then have to go back to work. which would be something else. All right, so let's. There we go. So just spreading it out a little bit. There we are. I'm making a giant mess. Okay, so Emerald Nightmare is a metallic deep green, like a dark green. So deep and dark. Let's see if I can't get a good shine on it. That it can be used as a really good shading for anything that's like metallic and green. It's an excellent color. I was sad when they originally said that the Emerald Nightmare was not going to be in the regular lineup. That the bottles that I had were, you know, hey, we're testing this out, give it a shot, and that was almost a year ago, and I ran out a long time ago. So I was very perturbed that we didn't get that it wasn't going to stick around. So when they sent me because I knew the thinning medium was coming, I was going to be able to show this off to people because this is going to be big for them. But then when this showed up in the same packaging, I immediately emailed Greg at TurboDork and was like, dude, how did you not tell me that Emerald Nightmare was coming back? And he basically was like, I knew you were, upset that it left. Awesome. So I am so excited that this is back. In fact, when I am done with the Strange Hollow stuff, because unfortunately not a lot of metallic stuff on the Strange Hollow kits, but when I am done with this, I've got a handful of Necrons. I haven't played 40k in years, but I've got a handful of my Necrons that are still unpainted, and now that I've got this back, that might inspire me enough to go ahead and get some paint on them again, just to show them some love, because what a great color. And now you can get it on TurboDork's website. Follow the link and use my code. Get some money off and make it happen. All right, folks. That is really all I had for this week. I said it was going to be a short episode, but it ended up being just as long as normal because I like to talk about cool stuff and I like to tell you about cool stuff. Very excited about the different products that we showed you. And just, trying to make things, give people reasons to smile right now, because it's necessary. Definitely. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps out the channel a great deal. I'm talking to a couple of other potential sponsors, and I would love to be able to do some cool unboxings and things with you guys. But in order to do that, I've got to grow the channel a bit. So please tell your friends, tell them how great this is. If you are a comment raffle winner at Box 2 Battle, then tell your friends that once a month I give away stuff, and the more sponsors I get, the more stuff I can give away. And just in general, very happy with the channel and want it to grow and want to be able to spend more time with you guys. Next week, we are doing an episode on, specifically, we're doing an episode on how I come up with names, and I'll explain that more in the episode because it came out of a conversation I was having with my wife. So without further ado, please stay safe, especially in the kind of chaotic times that are happening right now. Just really wash your hands, get your shots, wear a mask, don't lick doorknobs. Just really, and this is super important right now, is just try and leave everywhere you go a little happier than when you got there. And maybe we'll be able to get through all of this with a world that's actually a better place. Until then, have some fun. I'll see you next week. Play some games.